Our next speaker served as the Foreign Minister of Ukraine from 2020 to 2024 during the years of war in Ukraine, and who held this important responsibility during a very challenging period for the country. Please give a very warm welcome to Mr. Dmytro Kuleba.
Good afternoon. What we have just seen is, of course, deplorable, but I want to let you know that as we speak here, I received messages on social media from Ukrainians who wanted to join this rally and support the cause of Iranian people. And they texted to me that they were appalled because this what happened is something they would never expect to happen in France to those who stand for the word this country is based on, democracy and freedom. So please know that the people of Ukraine stand by those who defend democracy, freedom, liberty in their lands. Madam President, as many dignitaries present, thank you. As many dignitaries present in this room, I also had the honor to observe and engage with several world leaders throughout my career. And I would like to say that although we never met before, but your speech, your words, your passion and emotion is one of the strongest impressions I ever had. And dear people of Iran, you are lucky to have such a leader. Six days ago, I was at my home in Kyiv. I arrived here just last night. And we were counting ballistic missiles targeting houses, churches, museums in the capital of Ukraine. And those ballistic missiles were the Russian ones. But we were also listening to the buzzing sound of drones who accompany ballistic attacks. Those drones also came from Russia, but those drones, the technology of those drones, were provided to Russia by the current regime in Iran. And like you, I know very well what it means to be attacked and killed and destroyed by the regime that currently holds its grip over the people of Iran. And I share your pain, and I understand what you're going through. It is never easy, never. It has never been easy in human history to oppose a regime that deceives, threatens, kills, tortures, and has no moral limits in doing that. But nowhere in history, in the entire history of humanity, these regimes outlived the people who opposed them. Nowhere, there is no such case. Regimes vanish, people prevail. And so it will be with your cause. As Ukrainian, I know what it means to stand under the banner free. Free Ukraine, free Iran. I feel very natural in this stage. Our ancestors opposed the monarchy. Our grandfathers opposed the Soviet regime, which was as clerical in a certain sense as the current regime in Iran, because communism was their religion. As a citizen of Ukraine, I personally stood on the square, and this is why this video resonated so much with me, opposing the pro-Russian regime in Ukraine in 2013 and 14, and the policemen in black uniform were dispersing us. And no one believed that we, the people, would prevail, because we were opposing the machine, and another machine of repression was standing behind that machine, because Moscow was standing behind authorities in Kyiv. 4 months later, the revolution prevailed. The people prevailed, because nothing can stop freedom. And this is where Russia invaded Ukraine. And Crimea was annexed. Russia intervened in Donbass, and there are people here who served in their respective governments back then and who opposed that movement, that act of aggression. But let's be frank with each other. The overall mood in Europe and across the ocean was to appease, was to put the responsibility on Ukraine. Like, you did something wrong. You provoked them. Stand still. Let them do what they want. The most powerful countries in the world try to convince us that we should accept our destiny. But we never did. And in 2022, ahead of the Russian invasion, there was not a single capital in the entire world that believed that Ukraine would survive the full-scale invasion. Think of it, not a single capital. Best analysts, best foreign policy thinkers, best diplomats, best intelligence officers counted the days. They differed in how many days Ukraine would survive. But no one gave us a chance. Because in their eyes, we are doomed by definition. And the best way forward is to allow someone to die in a way that no one will accuse you of helping the culprit. The people of Ukraine defied all of these smart, intellectual, powerful men who gave us no chance, the way you are defying the same people who give you no chance. And if I was ever in a position to give any advices to someone who is not my son, daughter, or dog, I would tell you this: believe, remain committed, and resolve. And the most important word in this triangle, in this triad, is believe. Because if you do not believe in yourself, no one else will. And once you start winning, you will see the invitation from the authorities to hold a rally. The same authorities who banned the rally before. You will see more faces joining you. But I'm sure that you will always remember those who stood with you while you were only in the beginning of your journey, because these are the most precious friends. And looking at this audience, I would like to recognize that you do have friends. I was listening to one of the slogans you were chanting, and if the translation was correct, and by the way, the language is beautiful, it sounds much better than when the foreign minister of Iran speaks it. So if the translation was correct, I heard the words, "We shall not surrender till the end." Let me tell you this. When the war started, and no one bet on us. Everyone was watching how we were trying to survive. I was talking to myself as a foreign minister of a country at war, and I said to myself, you will share the destiny of this country and the people you represent. But in the end, everything will be fine. And if it is not the end, if it is not fine, then this is not the end. I admire your commitment, your resolve, but more than anything else, I admire your love to your own country. Stay strong and prevail. Thank you.